Bitcoin is trading at $88,000, and I just want to do an update on the higher time frame chart, so on the weekly and in general what to kind of expect, because we are now technically in a bear market. But this does not mean that we only go down, right? There will be counter trend rallies, and the most treacherous thing, the thing where people get trapped the most, is not realizing that the trend has now shifted to a high time frame bearish trend and mistaking any counter trend rallies as actual bull market continuations. And that can be very, very painful, because if you think that a rally here is just a continuation of the bull market, but in fact it's just a bounce in a bear trend that is going to roll over and continue to new lows, if you continue to buy those dips and you continue to add on leverage, especially near the top of the counter trend rallies, and then it rolls over, it is incredibly painful and it will cost you a lot of money. So pay attention to this update and what I'm about to share with you, because it is all based on data, it is all based on price action, not opinion. So we follow the data, we follow an if-then framework, and that is, in my opinion, in over 10 years of doing this, the best way to approach these markets, trading and investing. Before we dive into the chart, I just want to let you know there are now 7 days left until I double the price of my VIP membership. There's currently still a special offer where I still offer lifetime access, which means a one-time payment, no future renewals. That disappears on December 3rd, and then the price of the annual membership is going to double on December 3rd. So if you want to sign up and you get all the discounts and even the lifetime option where you pay once, no future renewals, the link is in the description down below. Until December 3rd, you have that special offer, and the entire membership is covered by a 60-day money-back guarantee, unconditional, no strings attached. If you sign up, you don't like what you see, you have 60 days to email support, get your money back in full. So I make it risk-free for you, and you have the best deal price-wise. I would highly recommend it. If you want my guidance, my mentorship, sign up, come and join us. There's more than 3,000 members from around the world. The link is in the description down below. Okay, so the best thing to look at here is the Bitcoin chart. It is the weekly chart. You can see we're at $88,000 at this point in time. And very simply put, we have the 50-week moving average. That has always been the line in the sand for the bear and the bull. And as you can clearly see, we have lost that 50-week moving average. It's been the case every single cycle. Once we've lost it, we've dropped another 50 to 60% of that. So very simply, if all that you want to know is how to know if we're in a bear or a bull trend, you look at the 50-week moving average. If we are below that 50-week moving average, the high time frame trend, the weekly trend, is down and we can expect a lot lower. If we reclaim the 50-week moving average, if we get back above it with a weekly close, then it potentially invalidates the bear and we can start looking at bullish continuation. That is really how simple it is and how you can approach this, and how you can also just save yourself a lot of drawdown and pain and frustration, because previous cycles, if you had simply gotten out of Bitcoin and spot altcoins, once we lost the 50-week moving average, yes, it wasn't the exact top, it's probably 20 to 30% down already, but you save yourself another potential 50 to 60% drawdown from this point in time. As you can see, let me just very clearly mark it out. So this entire bear market has been below the 50-week moving average, and this is a linear scale, so even though in 2017 it looks small here how I'm drawing it, it's actually the same 50 to 60% every single time, and that is almost a 12-month period. So you could have saved yourself in previous cycles 50 to 60% drawdown of your entire portfolio on Bitcoin, right? Altcoins are like multiple magnitudes worse. Altcoins can drop like 99%, while Bitcoin drops another 50 to 60%. So you can save yourself a huge amount of drawdown or loss, and many, many months of just looking at your portfolio drawing down simply by following this 50-week moving average and having this simple strategy of, once we lose it, we are in a bear market, we get out of the positions, and only once we reclaim it, right? We can do the same. Once we reclaim it, then we turn into a high time frame bull market. And that is basically what I did also here on the channel. In January of 2023, I made a channel, a video, the bull market is back, and that is exactly what happened. So simply just by playing this on the high time frame, you can capture the bulk of the bull market move from crossing it, reclaiming it, to losing it again, then sidestepping it and only getting back in again once we reclaim the 50-week moving average. It's the same thing. Very, very simple and very, very easy. Okay, so now that we have that, I want to show you here what the possibilities are and what we could be looking at and how to potentially play that in terms of investments, trades, entries, exits, all that kind of stuff. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own decisions with your own money. I'm just showing you how I see the charts, how you could play it, how I'm probably going to play it, and all that good stuff. So you can see here, let's take a look at the previous cycle, 2021, what happened. So in May of 2021, we dropped back, we retested the 50-week moving average, and that created this kind of level of demand over here. Then what we had is we had a higher high that lined up with the maximum cycle length, once again 550 days, a sweep of the high, and that was game over. So then we lost the 50-week moving average over here, and we dropped about 30%. You can see over here, we lost this, we dropped about 30% into this gray box, the demand area, which is the previous low. It makes perfect sense technically if you know how to trade and what to look for. Let me zoom in a little bit more here so you can see it, especially if you were watching this on a small screen. So we got this drop here, 30% drop, and then what happened is we got a 2-month rally, right? And that's what I'm talking about. That is these treacherous bear market rallies that make you think that potentially or a lot of people are probably going to think like, hey, that was it, the bear market's over, the dip is done, and we are continuing to highs. Nope, that is not what happened. And if you would have fallen for this, you would have gotten absolutely wrecked. All right. So you can see this was a 2-month period where the price went in the previous cycle from 33,000 to 47,000. So that's quite a gain. That's a 50% gain in a bear market. But what all that it did is it ended up retesting as a bearish retest from below the 50-week moving average. It failed, and technically there's more reasons. We don't want to go too deep into that into these YouTube videos, but you can see the supply area over here in combination with this 50-week moving average. It rejected over here, and then it went on a literal 66% drop after that bearish retest for a period of, you can see, 42 weeks. So that is a very, very long time and a very big drop. So where people get trapped is they mistake this rally, this almost 50% rally for a period of 2 months, as a new bull market or bull market continuation. And you will see a lot of people right here at the peak will start to enter and FOMO buy and even leverage long over here, thinking that it's going to go back up to the all-time high and that the bull market's going to continue, when in fact that is the worst possible time. It's probably when people feel the most FOMO, like, hey, we're back, we're going higher, we've been going higher for 2 months already, we're back, the bear market is done, and then it kicks in. So if you compare that to what is currently happening and how that would look like if it's going to play out again, and I think that should always be the primary assumption. It should never be a case of this time is different just because I feel like it's different or because the people on CNBC are saying it's different. No, it's only going to be different once it actually proves itself to be different. Until then, we have to assume it's the same thing. So we have the same area of demand over here that was created in March of 2025. We retested it, went higher, and then we lost the 50-week moving average. Now, losing the 50-week moving average, as I've already shown you, is the bear market confirmation. We have now 2 weekly closes below it. Now, what we have here are two things. We have this previous low here, which is about $74,000, which also coincides with MicroStrategy. So Michael Saylor's, or Strategy as they've rebranded to, their average cost for over 600,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so that is a very key level that I feel eventually will get hit. The question is going to be, do we hit it first before the bounce, or do we bounce first and then hit it and go way below it? Those are the two options. So basically, if we repeat what happened in the previous cycle, what I broke down, and we get a 30% drop below this 50-week moving average, you can see here, that would mean a sweep of the $74,000 level, and it would take us to about $70,000, which would mean we'd probably get something like this. We'd drop below, then maybe retest the 50-week moving average, and then continue down to like the bear market lows, somewhere by the end of 2026. That is basically the historical cycle patterns, is the 4-year cycle, which so far is still playing out perfectly. So far, we had an exact top in like early October, mid-October, which was 550 days past the halving. So the 4-year cycle is completely playing out still, which means if the 4-year bull cycle is playing out, probably means the 4-year bear cycle is playing out. 2014, 2018, 2022, and now 2026. So we probably have a good 8 to 12 months ahead of us of bear market, as long as we are below the 50-week moving average. The invalidation to that scenario is obviously if we reclaim the 50-week moving average, then we have to reconsider the bullish scenario, at which point everything changes and we need to just update the strategy at that point in time. Remember, it's always if, then. Okay, that's the best way to navigate this. Now, the other way to look at this is that if we get a bounce first, okay, and I'm still skeptical about that, but we'll see. We'll see how this week closes. We have the monthly close coming Monday also, so that's all lining up very, very quickly. If we go into a 1 to 2 month bounce, just like we saw in the previous cycle, and we retest the 50-week moving average first, which is probably going to be somewhere around the $100,000, maybe $98,000 level, right? Keep in mind it's going to continue to move like that. So if we retest that first, then we are looking at potentially much deeper, kind of in one direction. So the strategy that I'm looking for, or the major kind of trade setups or opportunities that I'm looking for, is going to be one of these two. And it's going to be either a retest, a short at a retest of the 50-week moving average, or potentially a long after we sweep and reclaim the 74K. That's the two scenarios. So if it drops first, because of the length that it would have dropped and the similarity to the previous cycle, I think if we sweep 74K and reclaim it, then we could probably take a long position, swing longs, or maybe on some low leverage, with a stop at the sweep targeting the 50-week moving average, and that would give you probably a nice 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 risk reward. However, if we go up first, like I just said, and the 50-week moving average is here, and we end up somewhere there, then we could look at potentially a major swing short at that 50-week moving average. The invalidation will of course be if it reclaims it, and then probably targeting way lower, because if we go up first, it resets all the oversold conditions, and it probably means that the next leg down is going to be even deeper. And based on previous cycles, what has happened, we're looking at $50,000 to $40,000 Bitcoin. So either way, one of the two, that is the setup I'm waiting for. And it's very simple. As long as we're here in the middle, there's no real setup. We can guess which way it's going to go, but at 88, it can literally move $10,000 up, it can move $10,000 down. So you don't really have a good setup, or I don't, at least anyway, according to how I trade and my strategy, which is basically these. We want to look for the extremes. So I think it's a matter of patience. We are also approaching the end of the year. It's Thanksgiving this week, Black Friday this Friday. Then it's the end of November, we go into the holiday season, we have Christmas, we have New Year's. So these next 2 months anyway are probably not going to be very good conditions for trading. I would not be surprised to see us just chop around here for the next 2 months or so between these levels, until eventually we will hit one of these levels, either the 50-week moving average as a bearish retest, or the 74,000, and then we have to see obviously what happens at the time. But if we sweep it and reclaim it, that's a potential long, and a bearish retest of the 50-week moving average is a potential swing short. Those are the opportunities, and now all I do is just be patient and wait. That is the most important part of making money with trading and investing. You have to be patient. You have to wait for the setup to come to you. You can't force it. If you force it and you take wrong positions or you oversize, you're going to get wrecked. Just simply wait, be patient, know what you're looking for, and then the opportunity will eventually come. Now, one last thing that I do want to say is over here, if we do get the bearish retest, and if this is going to be a bear market into the end of 2026, and we are going to $40,000 per Bitcoin or something like that, then this bearish retest could potentially be the last opportunity to exit spot positions at the best price that it's going to be, because then it would make a lower high. So if I zoom out a little bit to show you over here where the same arrow is previous cycle, That was, at that point in time in the previous cycle, the best opportunity still to exit your spot Bitcoin and altcoins before a massive drop much lower. And look how long it took to get back here, even from here to get back to that point, even on Bitcoin itself, right? You can see this point was April 22. The time when it got back was basically 2 years later. So that was the best chance to get out. If you could have held on, sure, but you would have been in a drawdown for 2 years. You would have been looking at your portfolio, seeing it go down, and waiting just to get back to break even. 2 years. Okay, so that you are aware, which is why I'm making these videos, to help people understand what is potentially happening and how we can look at previous patterns of price action to help us make better decisions. Again, not certainties, it's only probabilities, but if this is going to play out in that way, you know at least that when we retouch the 50-week moving average, take a look at it, look at the lower time frame, see what's happening, and depending on the price action at the time, that could very well once again be the best opportunity to exit spots at the highest price it's still going to be before we enter a bear market that continues much lower. Again, all probabilities, but this is the data. Now you are prepared. Be patient, let the opportunities come to you. That is the best way to make money with this. So if you enjoy these updates, I literally share my analysis, my charts, my trade ideas in real time in my VIP Discord every single day. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm still running a special offer for the next few days. December 3rd, the lifetime access option disappears, where you pay once, no future renewals ever, and the annual membership doubles in price. So come and check it out. It is risk-free, 60-day money-back guarantee, but you need to sign up before the price doubles, or you're just going to pay double. It is 100% worth it, in my opinion. You have so many testimonials. You'll see all of that on the page. We have over 3,000 members from all around the world. Come and check it out. Come and join us. If you're not happy for whatever reason, you have 60 days to get a full refund. No strings attached, but the price doubles December 3rd. Link in the description down below.